Canada immigration scandal, 62 IRCC staff caught in misconduct storm. Welcome back to Canada Chronicles. Today we're diving into one of the most shocking revelations in Canada's immigration system. 62 cases of confirmed misconduct inside immigration, refugees, and Citizenship Canada, including unauthorized file access, harassment, and even a bribery attempt tied to a study permit. These aren't just internal scandals. They raise serious questions about privacy, fairness, and how secure your application really is. Stay tuned until the end, because we'll also uncover something every applicant needs to hear. Could your own application be at risk from misconduct inside immigration, refugees, and Citizenship Canada? The answer might change the way you view Canada's immigration process. If you want clear, fact-based updates that expose what really matters for students, workers, and families planning their future in Canada, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the insights that could affect you directly. Let's get started. The scandal unfolds. Canada's immigration system has long been seen as fair, transparent, and efficient. People around the world look to Canada as a country where rules were applied consistently and decisions were based on policy rather than politics or favoritism. That image took a hit in June 2025. Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada released its first ever annual report on misconduct and wrongdoing for fiscal year 2023 to 2024. Out of 86 investigations launched that year, 76 were completed and 62 were confirmed as misconduct. The majority of cases, 37, involved administrative misconduct such as absenteeism, chronic lateness, insubordination, and misuse of government assets. On paper, these may seem like routine workplace issues, but in a department responsible for hundreds of thousands of applications, even small lapses can delay lives and keep families apart. 12 cases involve violations of the department's network policies. Employees improperly accessed immigration files, not for official purposes, but to satisfy curiosity or check details about friends or relatives. For applicants, this cuts straight to a pressing concern. Is personal information truly secure once it enters the system? 9 cases involved harassment, violence, or disrespectful behavior. These are troubling findings in a department that regularly deals with vulnerable groups such as refugees, asylum seekers, and migrant workers. 3 cases were logged as breaches of values and ethics, and 1 involved misconduct tied to security clearance. The most alarming revelation, however, was that 1 case processing agent asked a colleague if they would accept money to approve a study permit. This single bribery attempt, while isolated, reveals just how fragile public trust can be when integrity is compromised. Why this matters for applicants. To many Canadians, workplace misconduct may seem like an internal matter. For applicants who depend on the immigration system, however, the consequences are far-reaching. Trust is the foundation of immigration. Even 1 bribery attempt raises fears of unfair treatment or undetected corruption. Privacy is also at stake. Immigration files contain passports, financial records, medical documents, and birth certificates. Unauthorized access, even if not labeled a full-scale data breach, leaves applicants unsettled. Processing speed is another concern. Administrative neglect like absenteeism or ignored duties feeds backlogs. Applicants already face long waits, and misconduct worsens the delays. Finally, ethics come into play. If staff are found guilty of harassment or disrespectful conduct toward colleagues, applicants naturally worry about how fairly they will be treated. The bigger picture, immigration changes in 2025. The misconduct revelations landed at the same time Canada was rolling out major immigration changes, heightening public anxiety. International student cap. Canada limited new study permits to 437,000 in 2025, a 10% reduction from 2024, citing housing and service pressures. Spousal open work permits. Since January 2025, spouses of international students are no longer automatically eligible. Only spouses of PhD students, certain master's programs, and a few professional degrees now qualify. Post-graduation work permits. In June 2025, eligibility was tied to specific fields of study. Students who applied before June 25th were protected under the old rules, but new applicants faced tighter restrictions. Student work hours. The temporary allowance for unlimited off-campus work ended in November 2024. Students are now limited to 24 hours per week while enrolled in classes. Proof of funds. In 2025, settlement fund requirements for express entry were increased. Candidates had to update their profiles by July 28th to remain eligible. For the Atlantic Immigration Program, new fund levels took effect July 29th. For applicants already navigating stricter requirements, the misconduct scandal adds a new layer of doubt. Even if they meet the new standards, will their applications be handled fairly? Approval rates and processing delays. The climate grew more tense as approval rates declined. Media analyses of government data indicate that in 2025, only about 43% of student visa applications were approved. Work permit approvals also fell to roughly 69%. Processing times are lengthening in several streams, especially spousal sponsorships, family class visas, and certain provincial nominee program applications. Although not every pathway is affected, enough are delayed to create widespread frustration. Against this backdrop, news of dozens of staff misconduct cases deepened public unease. What Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada has done in response. The department did take steps toward transparency by publishing the misconduct report. Corrective actions included written reprimands for minor cases, suspensions without pay, terminations for serious breaches, and the revocation of security clearance in one instance. Still, critics point out that the report did not identify which offices or regions were involved, nor did it indicate how many applications may have been directly affected. Without more detail, applicants are left uncertain about the true impact, public reaction, and political pressure. The timing of the scandal could not have been worse. Immigration levels had already become a hot-button issue, with Canadians citing housing affordability, healthcare strains, and job competition as top concerns. Late 2024 polling revealed that for the first time in decades, a majority of Canadians felt immigration levels were too high. When the misconduct report became public, headlines focused on the bribery attempt and unauthorized file access. Nuance was lost, and the broader message to the public was clear. Trust in immigration, refugees, and Citizenship Canada had been shaken at a moment when immigration was already under heavy scrutiny. Opposition parties, advocacy groups, and provincial leaders called for stronger oversight. The scandal left many questioning whether the department could manage both policy tightening and the restoration of public trust simultaneously. Thanks for staying with us this far. We appreciate your time and hope you're finding this information valuable. Now let's turn to a question every applicant should consider. Could your application be at risk from misconduct? For many people, applying to immigrate feels straightforward. You submit the required documents, meet the criteria, and wait for a decision. But the misconduct report proves that risks exist behind the scenes. Unauthorized file access means sensitive personal information may have been viewed by someone with no valid reason. Administrative misconduct could mean delays caused not by policy, but by officers failing to do their jobs. Harassment and bias within the department could filter into decision-making, consciously or not. And although only one bribery case was confirmed, the very possibility undermines confidence. Protecting yourself as an applicant. While applicants cannot control the internal workings of Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, there are steps they can take. Keep thorough records of every submission, receipt, and communication. Stay updated on official policies for your program to recognize unusual requests. Request detailed explanations for unclear refusals or instructions. Consult licensed immigration professionals when needed. Report suspected misconduct through official complaint channels or disclosure processes. Moving toward solutions. Canada can restore confidence in its immigration system, but it will require decisive action. Publish clearer information on where misconduct occurs. Increase audits to ensure decisions are consistent across officers and offices. Strengthen protections for whistleblowers who report wrongdoing. Expand training on ethics and fairness for all staff. Engage openly with the public to rebuild trust. Industries such as agriculture, construction, healthcare, and hospitality rely heavily on temporary foreign workers and permanent residents. Any erosion of trust in the system affects not only newcomers, but also employers and communities across Canada. The misconduct scandal is real. 62 confirmed cases in 2023 to 2024, including unauthorized access to files, harassment, administrative neglect, breaches of ethics, and one bribery attempt. While corrective actions were taken, confidence in the system has been shaken. Combined with stricter immigration policies, lower approval rates, and processing delays, these revelations make applicants question whether their future in Canada could be at risk. The system is not collapsing, but it is vulnerable. Transparency, accountability, and vigilance are the only paths forward. The revelations from Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada's own misconduct report show that even trusted institutions can falter. For applicants, the message is clear. Stay informed, document everything, and demand fairness. Only then can confidence in the system be restored. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to subscribe to Canada Chronicles and turn on notifications so you're always updated on the stories that matter most to your future in Canada. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.